thrash them us about it in about half an hour or so.
Well, first of all, I want to say that you hosted a terrific event yesterday. Brought together the AI tech entrepreneurs, many that I work with. So many from your cabinet were there, and urging them, supporting them, encouraging them, showing them your interest, your knowledge of the space, and your commitment to helping them. And I just thought it was a fantastic day, and it was great to see Demis there and Eric Schmidt there, my friends, and Alex from Wave and Synthesia and 11 Labs and River Lane. There's just so many companies we're working with here in the UK, and it's really exciting to see your commitment to them. This is an extraordinary moment. You're absolutely right. We have to lean in. It's an extraordinary moment. There's no question that AI is incredible technology, and everybody talks about how it can understand information of almost any kinds. It can generate information of almost any kinds. AI can now reason and think and solve problems and use tools. And we know for a fact that we're going to be more productive. We know for a fact that we're going to be more secure because AI is smart. And because AI is smart, it's going to be better cybersecurity agents for us. We know that we'll be safer because AI is such incredibly smart software. It'll keep cars more safe. And so we know these things. But the thing that is quite extraordinary, and it's an incredible opportunity for the UK, is that AI is both a technology, but it is also an infrastructure. It's an infrastructure because it affects so many industries simultaneously. And it affects, of course, healthcare and government and education and manufacturing and financial services. Because this technology is so broad and so transformative to every single industry, it will be considered infrastructure, just as electricity was infrastructure, just as information, connectivity that came about because of the internet is infrastructure. Now we're going to have a new infrastructure, and this new infrastructure is called artificial intelligence. And it's vital that we invest in this infrastructure here in the UK, and with your support, we can do that.
I think that, just changing the language and the way we see it is hugely important in terms of the commitment that we make and how we work together. And as I said a few moments ago, the speed at which the change is going to happen, and persuading ourselves that the timeframes we would normally expect for pretty extraordinary change just have to be truncated all of the time, and you can see it right before your eyes, and what we're able to do as a government. How we're looking across all of the functions of government in each of the departments. We've got Peter Kyle here as the Secretary of State, who's charged not with just running his department, but looking across all departments. He's I've asked him to go to every single department of government and take up the challenge with them of how can you use AI and tech to transform what you are doing, as well as the delivery at the other end. And I think that's a sort of statement of intent is the way that we want to operate.
And I love hearing about how we're sort of really driving that adoption. And we talked a little bit about that sort of investment in terms of the infrastructure that we need and the opportunity we have in the UK. But how are we thinking about the investment in the sort of skills piece? And could you talk a little bit about how we're creating the skills that will be needed?
Yeah, I said a bit about this in the words just a moment ago, because I think the skills challenge operates at a number of different levels. There's obviously the sort of basic question, which is, can the sector get the skills it needs in the time it needs them? And that's why what we've been able to announce today is so important in terms of the sheer number of people that we can work with across businesses of all different sizes. And this is often more of a struggle, I think, for smaller businesses in terms of getting the right skills in the right place. So what we've set out today in relation to the 7.5 million people who will be trained from different backgrounds and different jobs in AI, hugely important. I'm personally very excited about the initiative in relation to our schools and universities and postgrads, because I think that training young people earlier on in AI and tech means that they will obviously be better skilled as they come into work, but also they'll be much better at it than us. I've got a 16-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, and they already understand AI and tech in a way which is really difficult to even have conceived of a decade ago. And to get them learning at school, I think will give them that spark. I'm a really big believer, this is my Somerstown school story, that you can't, often we ask young people, what do you want to do when you grow up, or what do you want to do, for a living or a career, or whatever it may be. I genuinely think it's hard for young people to answer that question if they haven't been exposed to things like AI and tech, because you can't aspire to do something if you don't really know what it is, or it's mysterious and you think it's for other people, not for me. That's one of the biggest inhibitors for me in life, by the way. There's children who think that's for other children, other young people, it's not really for me. So by doing what we're doing in schools, we're opening these out, not just for businesses in the sector to have the best talent coming in the pipeline, but for young people to be the brilliant next generation. And the speed it's going, we don't think we'll get to a next generation. I mean, 5 years and they will already know far more than we do. But that is really exciting in its own right.
You're absolutely right, Prime Minister. In fact, I would say, and this is a very important concept, AI is the great equalizer. Well, let me explain why. For the last 50 years, 60 years, computer science became a field of science. And it was available to tens of millions of people out of billions of people. And this technology was hard to use. We have to learn programming languages, we have to architect it, we have to design these computers that are very complicated. And so tens of millions of people were able to benefit from this particular field. But now, all of a sudden, there's a new programming language. This new programming language is called human. Most people don't know C++, very few people know Python, and everybody, as you know, knows human. And the way you program a computer today, to ask the computer to do something for you, even write a program, generate images, write a poem, just ask it nicely. And the thing that's really quite amazing is the way you program an AI is like the way you program a person. You say, you are an incredible poet. You are deeply steeped in Shakespeare, and I would like you to write a poem to describe today's keynote. And without very much effort, this AI would help you generate such a wonderful poem. And when it generates it for you, you could say, I feel like you could do even better. And it would go off and think about it, and it would come back and say, in fact, I can do better. And it does do a better job. And so this way of interacting with computers, I think, is something that almost anybody can do. And I would just encourage everybody to engage in it. And just as the Prime Minister said a second ago, almost every children is already doing that themselves naturally. And this is going to be transformative.
I think it's such an interesting way of looking at it in terms of that skepticism some people have, or it's like, people are very, it's human nature almost in terms of change, but there's an equalizer and there's a human equalizer. That means it can operate on different levels for different people. So it's a great way of looking at it.
Anybody can learn how to program an AI.
I find it incredible that the children of today, like when they become grandparents and they reflect back at the earliest, most antiquated piece of technology that they can possibly imagine is the technology that we are so excited about today. And I love that sort of pace of change and the sort of skills as we think about that transition.
I think the other bit on skills, just before I forget it, is being clear that here in the United Kingdom we want to attract the best talent in the world in here at that level. And I think it's really important that that's a message we're really clear about, particularly just at the moment. And so that's a really important part of Tech Week as well for me.
So let me draw on that piece a little bit more. So if we think about AI and we think about building all of this great infrastructure that we'll need to support the next generation of AI companies, something that sort of Peter Kyle and I get very excited about is you can't just build it, you've got to then also use it. And how do we create an AI ecosystem, and how do we drive the biggest impact from the opportunity that AI presents here within the UK?
Prime Minister and I were talking yesterday, and I used this word, and if you don't mind, I'd like to use it again. UK is in a Goldilocks circumstance. In fact, UK is singular. In any other region, it's singular in this condition I'm about to describe. UK has one of the richest AI communities anywhere on the planet. The deepest thinkers, the best universities, Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial College, amazing startups, DeepMind, I mentioned Wave, Synthesia, 11 Labs, incredible thinkers in computer science, really, really excellent digital biology. Of course, the discovery of DNA was here. Incredible research community. The second is the third largest AI venture capital investment anywhere in the world. The third largest, of course, the largest of the two, United States and China, is fairly obvious, but the UK is the largest AI investment area anywhere else in the world. And so between these two ideas that you're rich with great computer scientists, it's a fantastic place for VCs to invest, the ecosystem is really perfect for takeoff. It's just missing one thing. It is surprising, this is the largest AI ecosystem in the world without its own infrastructure, which is the reason why we're talking about it so much.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why Prime Minister's announcement of investing in computing, 20 times more computing, is such a big deal. If you were a particle physicist, you need a linear accelerator. If you are astronomer, you need a radio telescope. And so each one of these fields of science needs its own instrument. If you're in the world of AI, you do machine learning. You can't do machine learning without a machine. And so the ability to build these AI supercomputers here in the UK will naturally attract more startups. It will naturally enable all of the rich ecosystem of researchers here to be able to do their life's work. And I think it's just such an incredible place to invest. I'm going to invest here, as you know, many in the local community. The UK is such a great place to invest because of all the things that I've just said. We're going to start our AI lab that you mentioned, Prime Minister, and we're going to partner with UK to upskill the ecosystem of developers into the world of AI. We're going to invest in helping start off the AI ecosystem of infrastructure, and once we get the flywheel going, then research, startups, businesses, more consumption of infrastructure enables more research, more breakthroughs, more companies. That flywheel will start taking off. It's already quite large, but we just got to get that flywheel going.
I mean, firstly, the confidence it gives when you explain it that way is huge from our point of view. We're really pleased to be seen that way, and thank you so much for that vote of confidence in the investment. But to the wider group here, I think this question of the ecosystem, us showcasing what we have, it's very un-British to sort of showcase what we have, but we need to showcase what we have, but also to have this as a two-way conversation, because that ecosystem isn't something that, in a way, the government has to understand and sit on a platform and sort of say to you. It's something that is two-way. Almost everything we had in our action plan that we produced in January of this year was as a result of conversations with people in this room and beyond this room. Nothing was plucked from the sky. It was all part of a conversation. And that, for me, is the way in which we do partnership. Partnership isn't two people or two bodies, two entities trying to do the same thing. A partnership is where two or more bodies come together, understanding how they complement each other, how they actually do different things to achieve something bigger together. And therefore, this week, in addition to the sessions that we have like this, there are the opportunities, which I want everyone in this room to take, to give us your views on the ecosystem, on the place, on the data centres, on what we're doing with capital, on the skills piece, because that way you can put your fingerprints on what we're doing. That way we can have the many conversations, and I want you to feel that this is your opportunity to talk to all of us, including me. And we had really good discussions yesterday. These discussions, first-hand discussions, are really important to me and to Peter Kyle and to the whole of the cabinet, because they are our opportunity to have a conversation at this level about what works, what doesn't work, things that we can tweak and do differently. And to hear firsthand what the attributes are in this country we should be making more of, or where there's that gap that we should be seeking to fill. And so I see London Tech Week not as a sort of one-off staged event, but as a part of an ongoing conversation. And I want everybody to feel encouraged to talk to me. Peter is here. And if you can't get hold of us in one of these sessions, just make sure you're in touch with my office. Varun is here. I don't know where he is in the audience. His door in number 10 is literally about 10 yards from my door. That is how close we are working on AI and tech. So please take that opportunity, because we will do a better job if we work in that partnership with you. What you see in terms of policy and output from the government will be better if it's got your fingerprints on it. And so please take that opportunity. And that's why we had a really great discussion yesterday.
Well, I'm just excited about London Tech Week. I'll make this prediction. London Tech Week. This is London Tech Week. I make this prediction that because of AI, every industry in the UK will be a tech industry, and that is because of all the things that we've already said earlier. And it's such an important thing for all of the companies here to recognize the importance of AI and technology to all of their businesses. The UK has the most abundant of the most critical of resources. Your natural resource are the AI researchers, the AI entrepreneurs, and you have an abundance of it. You're the envy of the world. Let's, make sure, And it was so great to see you recognize them yesterday, and with your support, your recognition, Prime Minister, and the investment of the government behind these entrepreneurs, the sky's the limit. This is going to be a beginning of something really great.
I think we can really hear the sort of collaboration, I think, that happens between the government, the private sector and people to make sure that we do the best investment that we can in the UK. I just want to use our last few minutes, if I may. I think we've talked about the pace of change within the technology sector, and we understand that and the change around having skills. And let's take a moment to reflect back on the wider world. And there is so much geopolitical change, there's so much sort of technology championship and there's technology leadership. How do you, Jensen, balance off the pace of innovation and driving your own innovation, but also making sure that you are serving this ever-changing global market?
I have the privilege of being a company that we're the only AI company in the world that works with every AI company in the world. I think we're the only AI company in the world that works in every region. And so I have the benefit of engaging and partnering with many in different industries in different countries. I'll tell you, the speed of change is incredible. As we know, the greatest force of technology is actually a name. The greatest force of technology the world's ever known has a name called Moore's Law. Moore's Law is 2 times every year and a half or so. That's 10 times every 5 years, 100 times every 10 years. In the last 10 years, AI has advanced 1 million times. You got to, yeah, it's extraordinary. Moore's Law is 100. AI is moving at 1 million times. Well, that's the reason why we're all here talking about AI, and we realize how incredible this technology is, how important it is, how transformative it's going to be, and why it's so essential for us to engage. When something is moving at 1 million times every 10 years, there's only one way that you can survive it. You've got to get on that spaceship. Once you get on that spaceship, as it turns out, you're traveling at the same speed. And so to me, AI is moving at just about the right speed, the speed that I'm making it go. And so when you're on the rocket ship, all of a sudden everything else slows down. I would highly encourage that everybody simply engage AI, from school kids to teachers to doctors to accountants and lawyers. Of course, the young entrepreneurs are all engaging in researchers. Every single field of science has already engaged AI. As you know, digital biology, quants and financial services and risk assessment, it's all deeply focused on AI now. And so I think the important thing is to engage with deeply.
Prime Minister, final minutes then, can I just leave it with you in terms of how we, within the UK, making sure we forge that path to make sure that we are attracting companies like NVIDIA to come invest in the UK, but also really committing to that sort of UK AI infrastructure and ecosystem?
Well, I think this is all, in a sense, about posture. What do people think the government believes in? And if there's one thing I want to get across today, it is that we are leaning into this. We are excited about the potential that this could have, will have, in my view, on the lives of millions of people and making their lives better. I came into politics quite late in my career, having done other things. I came in to try and improve the lives of working people across the country, and I can see here the huge potential to do that at scale and speed, which I didn't think would necessarily be possible when I came into politics just 10 years ago. Even then, I didn't think that we'd be sitting here looking at the potential of AI. So the posture of the government, the leaning in, a government that truly partners in the sense that we understand, we have a conversation where we actually listen to what you're saying as well. They're the conversations that matter most. Having meetings where the next meeting doesn't go over what the last meeting did and everybody repeat the same things they said last time. We've done loads of meetings like that. They're not very interesting for you or for us. So I've got a rule that all meetings can't retrace the same ground as the previous meeting. You've got to go forward, iterate, get in the spaceship, if you like. But also creating the conditions and celebrating. I'm really proud of the fact that the UK is right up there when it comes to AI and tech. And we're in the top 3 in the world. That is an incredible starting position. All countries, I think, all regions, are going to want to go forward just as quickly as they can. And we happen to be in a really good position on this journey. And I'm really proud of that. I think we should make everything we can of that and continue to be a government that leans in, a government that works in the partnership way that we've described today with all of you. So again, thank you Jensen for not just for what you've said about your investment, but also doing what I really enjoy, which is yesterday we had a scheduled meeting. I burst into Peter's bit of the meeting, we then extended it afterwards. It was just so interesting in terms of where we were going with the discussion. And they're the most impactful meetings as far as I'm concerned, where I'm developing and I ruminate, I go away and I think about what's been said to me in these meetings. And last night I was thinking about what you were saying, the way you've articulated again this morning. What does that mean? How do we change? And that's the conversation I want to have with everybody in this room. Conversations will really change the way we do government, and that will improve the lives of so many million people in our country. So thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
With that, Prime Minister Jensen, thank you very much.
Really well done. Thank you, Pepe. Thank you.
Wow, what a note, no.